Tassie Encounters on Faith FM, and we're coming to you from Tasmania, right across Australia. Each weekday at 9 a.m, you can hear what the Bible says about past, current and future events. You can learn how to study the Bible more effectively. You can get to know who God is, why we're here and where we're going. And you can experience personal encounters with Jesus. I'm your host, Jason Cook, and Tamika Spaulding is back with us. Continuing on this series, we've titled A Seed of Faith on our Tassie Encounters Moments programs. Now, tell us, Tamika, why are we talking about faith in this series? Why is it important to you?
I think it's probably the hardest thing that I deal with in my own personal walk with Jesus. I would say that I do have faith. I also say that at times I don't have faith, and I'm a bit of a, up, down, up, down, up, down. Perhaps, many people are like that, but I get to a place where I feel, yes, this is God. He's speaking to me. I know who he is, got it together. I've got complete faith. And then I don't.
Yeah. I totally believe that we're actually created with a measure of faith, and there's Bible verses that actually say that. I think there's one that we cover a bit later, maybe. If not, I'll try to look it up and bring it in. But I think each one of us has a measure of faith. It may not be huge, but every one of us has something. God gives that to us as a seed, if you want to think about it that way. And then I think he then gives us the opportunity to do something with that, whether we're going to grow it or whether we even, I think for some people where they might call themselves non-believers, they can actually switch that off, totally not have faith at all. So, but I think we're born with an element of faith, with a certain amount. So Anyway, today we're going to be talking about faith and belief. And last time we spoke just of the beginning of, not the beginning, but it's actually the end of this passage that we're going to read today, where you read out of this verse of Matthew 17, verse 20, truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. But I think we should read the full passage, shouldn't we, and have a bit of a discussion about it. Yeah,
for sure.
Would you like to do some reading?
I would. So it starts off in the verse 14 of Matthew 17, and it says, when they came to the crowd, a man approached Jesus and knelt before him. Lord, have mercy on my son, he said. He has seizures and is suffering greatly. He often falls into the fire or into the water. I brought him to your disciples, but they couldn't heal him. Would you like to unpack that a little bit?
Sure. Well, I guess we've got more, though. We've got 17 to 20. Do you want to keep you only read to, I think, 16. Is that right?
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll keep going.
Yeah, let's read it all, then we'll unpack it all.
All right. You unbelieving and perverse generation, Jesus replied, how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy here to me. It just sounds like a parent.
Yeah, it does.
Laugh. Jesus rebuked the demon, and it came out of the boy, and he was healed at that moment. Then the disciples came to Jesus in private and asked, why couldn't we drive it out? He replied, because you have so little faith. Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you.
Okay, so that sets the context here quite well, doesn't it? That we're talking about a boy who had some sort of perhaps something, maybe these days it would look a lot like epilepsy, but anyway, in this case it was actually a demon possessing the boy, and the disciples tried to heal him and it didn't work. So I guess there's a couple of things here that we have to ask the question of why did the disciples why were they not able to cast out this demon? And the answer's right in the passage, but what was wrong with their faith?
Well, they lacked the faith.
They lacked enough. Yeah.
And Jesus is really saying you didn't need much. You just needed a little tiny bit.
And going back to my formula from the previous episode, where faith equals belief times trust times action, they had some action because they were trying to do it. I don't know about the belief or trust. Maybe there was something missing in those areas which actually meant that they didn't have what was necessary to complete this mission.
We often have a picture of what we think is going to be an outcome. I think, we have this picture that we know our own ability and we know what we think God might be able to do. And when we, put limits and boundaries on God, it doesn't really work that well. And, in this case, I think that's what it was that the disciples had limited God's ability in what God could do. They couldn't see the bigger picture. And so they didn't believe that they could help. And
I think that's really, really important, actually. And it makes me think of situations of people who struggle with addictions or bad habits. I think one of the key things in overcoming things like that is actually having faith and belief that it is possible. Do you know what I'm saying? If you are in a situation where you're in a mindset where you say to yourself, it is impossible for me to, let's say, maybe it's just forming a new habit. It's impossible for me to start exercising regularly. If you have that belief, then you're never going to get up and actually go for a walk, are you? Because you're stuck in that mindset of it's impossible. So having the belief that we can, through God's strength and power, we can actually achieve things, do things. In this case, having the belief in God that He can do things was so critical, and perhaps they lacked that. And see, for me, I think even in this situation, it's not so much belief that, the demon would be removed. And sometimes, in our situation, you have, they talked a lot about demons being removed in the Bible. Today in our, context, we're more familiar with, like you said, addictions or habits or, different things that we struggle with. It's not about probably putting a plan on God at all. It's saying, I know that I have faith that whatever I bring to you, Lord, you will see fit to do what you will, and you are answering. I have faith you will answer. I've got a friend who once made this statement that sometimes we put God in a box. We limit God by our understanding and our belief and our faith. And so if we limit what God can do through our limited belief, then, how can God do more than that? Do you get what I'm saying? We have to be very careful about limiting our belief of God. That's sort of, I think perhaps these disciples had that issue as well, where they didn't really see the full picture, as you mentioned earlier. So Jesus is kind of saying to them, you can trust me. I can just hear the parent in him saying, I love you. You can trust me. Why have you not seen what I can do? Bring him here and I'll show you what I can do. And of course, this is in the context of Jesus already having done many miracles and healed many people and doing things. And I think I take your point that it's a bit like a parental rebuke. It's not like a mean, nasty rebuke. It's like, haven't you seen what I've been doing here?
Yeah.
So, but
and they had evidence then, as you just mentioned. But in our own spiritual walk today, we have evidence too. It's just if we're not looking to see where He's shifted and moved and where their miracles are, we're going to be blind to them and miss out on seeing the evidence that's right in front of us.
I wanted to just unpack a little bit this context of if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there and it will move. Nothing will be impossible. Are we really talking about physical mountains? And I think the context here is that, the mustard seed is a tiny small seed, but it grows into a really large plant. And I think that's just what Jesus is showing or saying here about faith. Even though it might start small, it can grow. If we allow it and if we put our trust in God, it can actually grow into a huge potential or a big thing. But even the context here of a mountain, moving mountains. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody said they're expecting me to move mountains? Have you heard that phrase before?
Yeah.
I think this is perhaps where it comes from. Maybe not. Who knows? But it's a metaphor, isn't it, of insurmountable challenges or problems. And this is what Jesus is saying. If you have faith, these insurmountable problems or challenges that you see can be overcome with God's strength and with God's power.
Just talking about the seed. It's when you talk about its potential, it's not just its potential, it was designed to be a huge tree.
True.
So we look at the tiny mustard seed, but its design was to be huge from the beginning. And, we are designed to have a faith that is huge, that will grow huge. It's truth. That is truth.
So I think there's a couple of things here that, one, we shouldn't rely on our own efforts, because I think that's also what the disciples were doing, perhaps not relying on God, they were relying on themselves. And we shouldn't put limits on God as well. I think with those things, if we don't limit God, we don't rely on our own efforts, but we rely on God's efforts, then our faith can grow and we can really be putting it into practice and see God work amazing things in our lives. So thank you again. We've run out of time, but we've got our question. Have you ever had a time where you exercised faith and God surprised you? We'd love to hear your story. Text us in on 0488 880891. If we get a couple of stories in, we will share them on our next episodes in the future coming up. So do text us in, and we'd love to hear from your story on Faith FM.
This program is made possible by the support of Adventist World Radio.
Our book offer today is called Dare to Connect with God. This is by Niku Dumbrava. Have you ever been wondering how to connect with God? This little book offers 13 simple strategies for revitalizing your prayer life and deepening your connection with God. Niku Dumbrava said, this book is a call to unity in prayer of faith for every believer. The beauty of prayer lies in its individuality. The story, as told in the book of Acts, speaks of new believers leaving their prayer gathering, driven and empowered to share their message of Jesus far and wide. That would have taken faith, and they certainly exercised their faith in the book of Acts. So that's our book offer today. Text in TEM12, TEM number 12, no spaces, to 0488 880891. Tune in again in our next episode, 9 a.m. tomorrow on Faith FM. And the title of that one is going to be Faith and Blessing. This is all related to a Seed of Faith series that we've been doing. May you encounter Jesus more today as we go out with this song featuring Rebecca Simmons, and this is called By Faith. Thanks, Tamika. We'll talk again tomorrow.
No worries.
By faith we see the hand of God in the light of creation's grand design, in the lives of those who prove His faithfulness, who walk by faith and not by sight. By faith our fathers roamed the earth with the power of His promise in their hearts, of a holy city built by God's own hand, a place where peace and justice reign. We will stand as children of the promise. We will fix our eyes on Him, our soul's reward, till the race is finished and the work is done. We'll walk by faith and not by sight. By faith the prophets of the day, when the longed for Messiah would appear, with the power to break the chains of sin and death, and rise triumphant from the grave. By faith the church was called to go in the power of the Spirit to the lost, to deliver captives and to preach good news in every corner of the earth. We will stand as children of the promise. We will fix our eyes on Him, our soul's reward, till the race is finished and the work is done. We'll walk by faith and not by sight. By faith this mountain shall be moved, and the power of the gospel shall prevail. For we know in Christ all things are possible, for all who call upon His name. We will stand as children of the promise. We will fix our eyes on Him, our soul's reward, till the race is finished and the work is done. We'll walk by faith and not by sight. Oh, we will stand as children of the promise. We will fix our eyes on Him, our soul's reward, till the race is finished and the work is done. We'll walk by faith and not by sight. We'll walk by faith and not by sight.
This program has been made possible by the support of Adventist World Radio.